So episode 2 of the Pretty Good People podcast. Today I have Jaden McKenzie. He's a defensive tackle for Ohio State University and a longtime friend of mine. Jaden, let's get started. So take us back to your childhood. Where did this all start? Where are you from?
I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I stayed there till I was about 5 years old because of Hurricane Katrina. So me and my family relocated to North Carolina, like the Raleigh, Durham area.
Nice. That is a pretty crazy start to life. What was that like? What was that transition from New Orleans to North Carolina? How are you feeling? That's a pretty big thing to go through.
Um, it was crazy. It was crazy, but then again, like I don't know too much because I was so young. So it was just like I'm thinking everything's like just happening. Like I'm not thinking too much of it. But then as I got older and I started to like really like understand and like what was going on in the moment, like I look back at it and I think like that's really like my family really went through something like crazy. I don't know. It's like
like
hard to
a
explain.
historical, country
Yeah,
disaster.
yeah. Like but in the moment I didn't really realize what was going on. So I can't really say like, oh, like I was like all, you know what I'm saying, discombobulated and stuff. But as I got older, I started to realize like um what it was that we actually went through and then what it was that everybody in the in the state of New Orleans went through during that time.
And throughout this whole process, do you feel like this has made you a stronger person? I know you said you don't remember much of it, but knowing what you do know now, can you say that this event throughout your childhood has turned you into a stronger person?
Um yeah, I definitely say it turned me into a stronger individual, especially just um being able to make that transition from something that at the time was all I knew to something else being all I knew. Like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like just making that transition from New Orleans and being around my family all the time and you know what I'm saying, having like those relatives I could go see and hang out with and stuff, like the kids my age, to not being around my family and you know what I'm saying, being so secluded and ducked off from everyone that I know.
Yeah, definitely. And
Mhm.
so when you get to North Carolina, what is that like? Like, how did your family kind of adjust to this new environment, this new area? How did that impact you and your family?
Um, I mean, again, I was young. What I do remember is my mom looking for jobs and you know what I'm saying, just struggling, trying to get me into school and get everything back situated, trying to get everything organized and let everything flow how it's supposed to flow. You know what I'm saying? To create that family connection we once had. But um I'm sorry, what was the question again? I think I
Like,
started.
how did your family kind of adjust? Like those first couple of years in North Carolina, how did it change from? I know you were very young when you moved, but you know, knowing what you did in Louisiana and then coming here to North Carolina, like what were some of the things that you had to change? What were some lifestyle changes that you noticed and um, things along that line of, you know,
Um, well, I'll say my family, well, it was really just me and my mom. We adjusted really well. The reason why we came to North Carolina is because my mom's high school best friend moved up here and right after Katrina with her kids. And she told my mom, like, it's a great place, like, you know what I'm saying, just great opportunities up here. So my mom decided to take that risk and move up here. But overall, I say like that transition went pretty well. Like I said, my mom was looking for a job, and she eventually found one. At I think she started working at Great Clips. My mom does hair. She started working, no, not Great Clips. She started working at Walmart. There's like a hair. I don't know if they still do this, but there's a like a salon in Walmart. Do you know? Have you ever seen one of
yeah, oh
those?
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She's working one of those for a while, and eventually got back on her feet and, you know what I'm saying, was able to start taking care of everything like, you know what I'm saying, how she wanted to.
Yeah.
But the transition was pretty good.
Nice. And so going back to the school aspect, was how long after you moved here did you start playing football? Like when did you kind of pick up on that whole gig?
Um, I can't tell you the exact year, but I can say I started sports. Like I started like my love for sports playing soccer.
Really?
The best goalie,
Goalie.
North Carolina. The best goalie you've ever seen. I'm telling you.
Really? How many years did you play soccer?
Two,
Really?
two, 1.5, maybe. I think I quit halfway through one of them seasons.
Did they have
Yeah.
to make a bigger goal for you since you
Yeah.
were
I was just
six
I was
feet?
so good. Like I just didn't no competition, honestly. But no, I played soccer and then I stopped playing soccer. I forgot why, what my reason was to not play soccer anymore. But I was super excited to play soccer. I do remember that. And then I eventually got into football. I played for the Panthers. It was like a rec league. And I remember the Panthers. And we were a decent team. I quit though because I hated getting hit. I hated getting hit. Like
Isn't that
getting hit.
ironic?
Like, yeah, it was the weirdest thing. But my mom, I quit and I told her I didn't want to play no more. And she was like, try it again. And I was like, no. And she was like, just like for me, try it again. So I was like, all right. So what my mom did was she gave me my pads and my helmet. And we went outside. And like I used to go outside and play with the kids around the neighborhood and stuff. And they used to play football. So she told them to go get their pads and their helmet. And there's like a little field outside of our neighborhood. And my mom had told them, she was like, y'all want to play football? Like she asked them if they wanted to play football. They said, yeah. And she was like, okay, well, y'all can play football. Like play with my son pretty much. So they went to go get their pads. So we're playing literally like 11
Like
on 11 football
in the
in the middle
neighborhood?
of the field. Yeah, craziest thing ever. But my mom was like, just hit him as hard as you can. So I was like, all right, like, okay. So that's everybody's gonna aim for me. So I got hit, I got mad. So then I ended up hitting this dude with the
How
ball.
big were you at this time? Because you're like 6'4" now. So back in that, I mean, you were assuming always a big kid. So
I was a big boy. I was a big little chubby kid, but the kids that were playing against were older than me though. That
oh,
was so we like kind of evened out, kind of. But yeah, that started my love for football after that day because I hit the dude. I remember this. I hit the dude. I forgot what game is it where it's like one person has the ball and everybody else chases him and hits him, tries to get the ball from him. You know what it is?
no idea. I feel like I know what you're talking about. I don't know like the official name for it though.
I forgot the name of it, but that's what we were playing. And I had hit the dude and he ended up getting hurt. I think he broke something, his arm, I think, or something like that.
He
And
broke it or you broke
I
it?
broke it. Yeah, I broke it. But, nah, that right there sparked my like true love for football. And then, but the crazy thing is, I didn't play again until no, I'm lying. I'm lying. I played my 7th grade year because in North Carolina, you can't play your 6th grade year of middle school. So
And
I played 7th grade year, then I transferred and I didn't play at my new school.
so where in North Carolina was this at when you were playing the 11 on 11 neighborhood football?
This was Briar Creek.
Okay.
Briar Creek, yeah.
Okay.
Um, it was like a low income. The area was very like rich, but the Briar Creek or the Oaks, that's where I stayed specifically. The Oaks, it was like a lower income like apartment complex that we stayed in, and that was another thing that was hard growing up. Just being like this poor African American kid, so like in the you know what I'm saying, like a very wealthy neighborhood, trying to maneuver myself through the days like in there. But
Yeah, for sure. I can't imagine what it's like with the whole history before that and then kind of adjusting to an area that doesn't really, you know, suit your position, I can see how that could get pretty scary pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and flash forward to high school because that's where you really kind of bloomed. Um, what was freshman year at high school like? Making that transition into okay, like Wake Forest High School is a huge football program. What was that like going into it, and what was the tryout process like for the football program?
Um, Shoot, going into it, it was like I didn't know what to expect really because I didn't play. I wasn't like a avid football player. I didn't really love the game at the time. So it was just like a sport. I was going into high school. I think I went to a game, Wake Forest game, the state championship game. It was at Wake Forest University, which is like 2 hours away from Wake Forest High School. But um, I went to a game. I seen that they were good and it looked fun. And so I had previous experience of playing football and I didn't enjoy it at first. And I started to like it after that little playground incident thing. But going into it, I didn't know what to expect. Uh I think I had trouble like I remember starting up spring work or summer workouts and I needed like my uh what's that the thing called? Uh
Physical.
Physical. I needed my physical. I didn't have my physical, so I couldn't do anything for like the first 2 weeks. And like the coaches were looking at me like, "Oh, this kid's soft." Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he doesn't want to be out here. Da da da. Da. So then I eventually got it. And then the first day of practice, I'm running around out there, and I was still a big dude, but I could move from my size. So the coaches were like, "Oh yeah, we like him." Da da da. Da. So they ended up sending me to the varsity group, and I practiced with them, and I stayed there my whole freshman year. That was after like the first 2 or 3 days of what I'm saying summer workouts. But
That's crazy. Just to
yeah,
come into high school as a freshman, 2 weeks in, they're like, all right, put on a jersey, varsity, like just off
yeah, I
of the
didn't
first.
realize how big it was. I didn't realize how crazy that was in
That,
the
yeah.
moment. Um, But yeah, no, it was definitely a great time in my life.
So you're a varsity football player in high school, just started. How does this change things for you in the first year of high school? Your freshman year of high school, how does this change from it's just a sport, it's something I like to do, to I'm a varsity starting player as a freshman? How does this shape the beginning of your high school career?
The I say grades, my grades. That's like football. If I didn't have football, I don't know where I would be in school because my freshman year, I told you I looked at football as just a sport. Like it was just something that you could go out and run and get sweaty and play around. You know what I'm saying? But my grade, I did not take my grades serious my freshman year. But when I realized that football can take me places that, you know what I'm saying, like a lot of people don't get the opportunities to get a chance to see pretty much. Um, that's when I started taking it serious. I feel like I worded that weird, but
No, that was perfect.
freshman year, freshman year, my freshman year, what I say, I had got bad grades. Um, my head coach pulled me aside and told me like you have the potential to go to college for free. You know what I'm saying? If you actually lock in and do your schoolwork and get good grades, you know what I'm saying, and then produce on the field, you have an opportunity to do this. And it took me a little minute to like really believe him and believe in myself. But once I did, like I say football really changed like my academic perspective a whole lot.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, that's I mean, that's huge. I mean, not only do colleges look at how athletic you are, they also look at how social you are, how well you do in school. You know, grades are a huge thing. I mean, colleges are colleges for a reason. And it's awesome that really put things into perspective for you, not only on the field, but in the classroom. Um, so let's skip forward a little further into senior year of high school and 4 years, 3 years of varsity football. Where are you at now? What is 3 years of high school varsity football on, a pretty good football team look like in the eyes of Jaden?
I mean, my high school team was crazy. Like it was really, I was a true blessing. I was placed in the perfect position, you know what I'm saying? Because my teammates, my coaches, everyone around me, my school, like the whole support system that I had surrounding me was just a blessing. Um,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
said so. What we skipped to my senior year, right?
yeah,
Senior year. So by the end of my senior season, I had probably, I want to say like 18 offers, maybe. Um,
wow,
I was 57-1, I think. My high school record. We
that's
won three
insane,
state
dude.
championships. Yeah, it's the
Three
accolades.
state championships back to back to back in a row.
Yeah,
I mean,
three in a
that's
row.
unheard of.
Yeah, it was crazy. Honestly, we were living the high life. Honestly,
57-1. I mean, it's you go into high school and you just are not used to losing. I mean, you lost one game, you're like, all right, I'm done.
yeah,
Like, I'm not losing. Like, that is unheard of to win 57 games or 45 in those three
yeah,
series alone. I mean, that's insane.
yeah. It was crazy, honestly. And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it was a blessing. I was truly blessed to be in the position that I was in, to be surrounded by my teammates. You know what I'm saying? And the coaching staff that helped us get, you know what I'm saying, to where we got to and get all the success that we got. But yeah, no, senior year. By the time senior year came around, it was just like all I could do is look back and thank God, because it was a great time, great experience.
Definitely. So, senior year, you're killing it on the football field. Are there colleges watching you? Are there, is coach coming up to you and saying, hey, we've got XYZ colleges here, you know, play your A game? What's that like knowing that there's a potential, recruiter out there in the stands watching you as you're making these tackles, as you're making these sacks? What does that feel like as a player?
Um, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like in high school, it makes you feel like the man, because like it's just like I don't know, it's just something about having that college coach, that next level, the place that you're trying to get to. You have somebody coming to recruit you to go there. You know what I'm saying? Come and watch you, and like I don't know, it just feels amazing having that opportunity. It's stressful though. I'll say that it's stressful.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, like especially when they come to like practices or games and stuff, because you know what I'm saying, you'll be tired, but you can't be tired in front of them. You want to
Oh
be
yeah.
at you know what I'm saying, you want to look your best when you're around the coaches and whatever, the recruiters, just whoever is coming to see you. But yeah, no, you definitely feel like you're at the top of the world when stuff like that goes on. Getting called out of class
That's
for
crazy.
like to talk to a coach, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is, yeah, it feels great.
So senior year, did you plan on going to college, or did you have that in your mind saying, if I'm offered an opportunity, like, no, you know, I'm going regardless? Or was it?
No, I did not. So I didn't get my first offer until junior year. It was like the beginning of my junior year or end of my junior year or something like that. But beforehand, like I did not think I was going to college. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie. Like I don't know what it was. I guess it was like I thought like my past meant that I couldn't make it to college or something. I don't know what it was that I had going in my head, but I did not think I was going to college, especially going to college to play football. Um, I told you my grades were bad, and you know what I'm saying, all this, like I just wasn't fully locked in. And then I just had mentors and great friends, and my mom, especially, like just getting into me and digging in my brain and letting me know like I'm a lot more. I have a lot more to offer than I think I do. You know what I'm saying? I could go a lot further than I think I can, and stuff like that.
That's got to be a good feeling knowing that, like, okay, I can make it. There's a possibility out here that, you know, that stigma that surrounds me, you know, might be different. I might be going to college. Like one of these guys could potentially pick me up. That's got to be a huge turning point for you as a senior. And instead of looking out as, okay, I'm going to graduate as a senior, then what? Looking at, a potential another 4 years playing for a college football team, that's got to feel crazy, from your background to now, that's got to be a game changer.
No, it definitely was. Another thing that helped though motivate me was was seeing the people before me leave and go to college. You know what I'm saying? Like I watched Dexter his senior year tear up the game and you know what I'm saying, go to one of the biggest schools in the nation at the time. And then I watched Zach Gill. He, you know what I'm saying, went on to play at UNC, Javon Terry, Drew Holmes check, you know what I'm saying? I can name a countless amount of people that went on to the next level to play. And that motivated me to, you know what I'm saying, strive to get to where they were going. Because, you know what I'm saying, like when it comes to this game of football, like it's like, I don't know, it's like a drug. It's like it makes you want to excel and go to the next level. You know
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that was definitely another motivator for me to.
So at what point did you tell yourself, okay, like I'm going to college? At what point did you start taking in some serious offers from some of these schools? And how did that kind of change the end of your senior year, knowing that I'm going to college? It's just a matter of which one.
Um, I didn't get to that point until like my senior year, like mid to no, yeah, like the middle of my senior year. No. I'll say like the beginning of my senior year. Because my junior year is when I really like all my offers started to pile up. I got my first one from I believe Wake Forest University, and then they just started rolling in after that. But I didn't. I say, see, I don't know. That's a really good question. That's a really good question because there was a point in time where I was like, I'm getting these offers, but college is still iffy because of my grades because I just
Yeah.
BS my whole freshman year. But um, there was a point in time where it was just like, okay, I know I'm going to college, but which one am I going to? I ain't gonna lie, that was one of the hardest decisions I had to make,
Oh, I'm
picking
sure.
college to go to, because it's it's literally like you're determining the next 4 or 5 years of your life.
I mean,
And
you could be potentially determining the rest of your life. I mean, it's
yeah,
not just the
yeah,
4 years. It's,
right.
you go to a smaller school and you stay local and you don't get as much highlight, or you get to play football, you get to do all this, but you're at a smaller school, or you go to a big school and you're away from family and you don't have as much play time, but you have the potential to grow indefinitely. It's a
Mhm.
huge decision to make, especially as a 17, 18-year-old high schooler. I mean, that's a huge, huge life choice to make.
Yeah, no, definitely. And yeah, you're right. It definitely, like, that decision could determine the rest of your life, honestly.
Yeah. And
But
as an 18-year-old, I can't imagine what that's like. I mean,
yeah, it's crazy. It was
so
stressful. But well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
uh how many offers did you end up getting? Like as a senior in high school, how many offers did you get? And then how many offers were you actually considering close to graduation? Okay, these are the schools that I'm likely going to go to.
Um, by the end of everything, I want to say 20, maybe 21. 20.
21 colleges saying we want you.
Yeah.
That's got to feel crazy.
No, definitely it felt amazing. You know what I'm saying? It felt impossible, or like, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't real for a while because it's just something I wasn't expecting. But um yeah, I'd say about it was around that number. And then near the end, when it was time for me to make a decision, I'd say 5 schools really had like a notch above the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
It was Tennessee, UNC, Wake Forest, Clemson, and Ohio State.
Some of the greatest football programs out there, and they're just saying we want you. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah,
And
no, it was definitely a blessing.
and of course, you ended up going with Ohio State University. I mean, who
Mhm.
wouldn't? That's, arguably the craziest football program out there. I had
Yeah.
to rep my Indiana colors today. We're not so hot over in Indiana, but we'll give you a run for your money.
Yeah, sure. I hear you.
So let's flash forward to that. Let's flash forward to Ohio State. That after that decision's made, I mean, you have to play it out in your mind. Okay, I'm leaving my friends, I'm leaving my family to go pursue football. I mean, what's it like going to Ohio State, knowing that you're going to go play football and you're leaving everything behind to pursue your football career? Walk me through that decision in that time.
Um, Going to Ohio State was the greatest decision I've ever made in my whole entire life. It was the biggest decision I've made in my whole entire life. The transition from going to Wake Forest to Ohio State was crazy. Um, Things didn't go how I wanted it to go, like whatsoever. Like, coming from winning all those games, 3 state championships, and what I'm saying, having all these accolades and these offers and stuff like that, you just feel like the man, and you feel like anything that comes your way, you'll just destroy it. You know what I'm saying? Especially on the football field. But I say coming to Ohio State was definitely a humbling experience for me. When I got here, it was rough. Um, it was super rough. Like,
It's like going
super,
back to freshman year of high school,
yeah,
starting back
like
all over,
crazy.
but way bigger.
Yeah, definitely. Like way bigger. And then the amount of responsibility that's placed on you once you step foot onto a college campus is like ridiculous. Like, what I'm saying? There's a lot. And it's not for everybody. It's definitely not for everybody, but it was hard. That was probably I still say that coming to Ohio State was one of the best decisions I've ever made. But once I got here, it was one of the hardest things like I've had to go through. It was one of the toughest things I've had to go through.
How
But
about the people around you, your friends and family? How did they react to your decision saying, I'm going to Ohio State, I'm going to Ohio State to play football, this is what I'm doing? How did people react to that?
my mom was ready for me to go. I ain't gonna lie. She was ready for me to go. But I mean, all my friends, all my family members, they all supported me. Even my mom, like she was like, well, I'm not saying even my mom, like of course my mom was supporting me, but my mom was definitely like my number one supporter, like through the whole process. My friends were all there for me, you know what I'm saying? Like my friends' families were all there for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, the support system I had coming into Ohio State was definitely really big and well appreciated.
Awesome. I mean, that's huge to have that support system behind you when making such a big decision. That's nice to hear.
Yeah, it's hard. I will add, like it was hard moving
No, I
from,
can imagine.
you know what I'm saying? Like I was like an 8 hour drive
Yeah.
away from all my family and friends. It was definitely tough. Um, but it also made me grow as a man, as a person, you know what I'm saying? Just growing to the person I am today, being away from my family. And it's happened before, you know what I'm saying, with Katrina. Like I've moved away and been placed in a totally different and new environment that I had to adapt to. And
Yeah, that's kind of got to take you back to your roots in a sort of way where, you went from Louisiana to North Carolina with Katrina, and then you kind of, I mean, not forced by disaster, but forced by, a huge decision to go to college. I mean, it's got to feel, I mean, even though you were 5, that's got to feel kind of the same where you're like, okay, I'm packing up, I'm moving, I'm making a huge life change. And I mean, both seem to be like there for the better. I mean, one was kind of forced and one was chosen, but they both ended up putting you in a fantastic place at a fantastic school, a fantastic program. So, I mean, that's huge. And
yeah, no, definitely. Um,
so you're at Ohio State. What's it like putting your jersey on, your pads on for the first time, going out on that field? What's going through your mind? How do you take that all in?
um, I'm not going to lie. Before I came to Ohio, I did not fully understand the culture here. And the more and more, or the longer I was here, the more and more like I started to figure out about Ohio and Ohio State and Ohio State football and the fans and you know what I'm saying, the culture here. Like it's honestly like putting on a jersey is like a true blessing. You know what I'm saying? To because I get to represent the state of Ohio. And when I say the state of Ohio, I mean the state of Ohio, like the whole entire state. Like
Mm.
Ohio State is known everywhere. I'm once I started wearing Ohio State stuff and going back home, like I would get the OHs all over the place. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter where I was. Like the family at Ohio State is ridiculous. Like it's crazy. And you know what I'm saying? They bring you in with open arms and you know what I'm saying, all that. But yeah, no, putting on the jersey at Ohio State is definitely like a blessing. It's a amazing feeling, like a feeling like you'll probably never get to feel again. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm definitely enjoying my time here while I'm here.
Now, this is sort of a rhetorical question, but would you say that this decision that you've made has this made you a stronger player on the field?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, I'm playing against the best.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally playing against the best in the nation. You know what I'm saying? Every year, the best of the best come here because they want to compete against the best of the best. So as a football player, I'll definitely say that coming here has developed me more than it would have if I would have went to other places. Um, but also as a person, I feel like they have a lot of tools and support systems and people around here that help you grow as a person as well, not only a football player. And I think I've grown like a crazy amount as a person as well.
That's huge. I mean, that's all that anybody could ask for out of their college experience is just to grow and exceed and love their environment, love the people. It really makes going, being away from family, being away from friends that much more enjoyable. And, it's awesome to hear that Ohio State's been so great to that. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Um, so you are now a senior at Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm going into my senior year.
And where do you stand now? How do you feel about, I mean, are you feeling the same way as you were a freshman, or how's the football program in your eyes? How has it changed from freshman year till now? And what are your plans for this upcoming senior year?
Um, they have not changed. I mean, they have changed. I have changed. I've changed a lot since I've been here. But as far as like the love of the game, like I said, like coming here, I had a lot of big dreams and goals and all that, but it didn't go how I wanted to go. You know what I'm saying, with injuries and stuff. Like I've struggled with injuries for years on top of years now. And it's just like it's a hard thing to deal with, but it also helped me grow as a person and as a player. Uh and then like I've learned a lot from these injuries and all this time I've spent up here. And you know what I'm saying? Right now, like thank God, like I'm feeling 10 times better than I ever have since I've stepped foot on Ohio State's campus. So this year, you know what I'm saying, I'm hoping to be who I knew, or you know what I'm saying, who I expected to be, and be who like I wanted to be coming in. But what I'm a HDFS major. If you don't know what that is, human development and family services.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I'm working to go into chiropractic school.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm gonna be a chiropractor. So
That's what's
I'm
up.
slowly trying to take classes that'll lead me, and I need like 90 credits of specific classes in order to get accepted into a school. So that's what I'm working with right now. And
You,
then you said what?
you plan on staying in Ohio for the entirety of that process?
That depends. I don't know. It just depends on how everything goes. Like I don't have any set plans because anything could happen. But as far as right now, like that's what I want to do and that's what I'm working towards. So You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing is, like, I came into college not even thinking twice about,
Yeah.
like, it just wasn't on my mind. But
It's crazy how things change like that. You just,
yeah,
life takes you in crazy directions.
it really does.
That kind of brings me on to my next topic. 5 years from now, where do you see yourself being? Where do you want to be? And what do you want to be doing in 5 years? I know you just said chiropractic, but do you want to be owning your own practice? Do you want to be shadowing, working under someone? I mean, where do you want to be in 5 years? What's your ideal situation?
I mean, shoot, in 5 years, I want to be in the NFL, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's everybody's dream. But um, if that doesn't work, if that doesn't go how I want it to go or how I expect it to go, I do plan on being a chiropractor in 5 years. I'll probably still be in school, I think, maybe, but I'll probably still be in school or just now getting out of school. But
So
whatever it is, I just plan on being successful, working hard and being successful, being
that's all
able
you can do,
to,
man. Just work
yeah,
hard, put your head down, do the work, and mind your business, and
for real.
that'll ultimately lead to success. So you said NFL. How do you plan on achieving that? How do you, like, in your mind right now? So if you're saying I want to get to the NFL, I want to be a great NFL player. What goals and what things are you doing right now? What do you have set in stone to make sure you put your best foot forward to get there and say, I'm going to put all I can on the table, you know, see where it goes? What do you have going on right now to help with that?
I mean, one, staying healthy. That's the biggest thing, especially for me, just dealing with all the injuries. That's the thing that's holding me back from all of my athletic ability, just injuries and specifically my knees. But I say one, staying healthy. Like, I'm doing everything I can to stay healthy, working hard in the training room, getting rehab and doing all the extra stuff. And being at a place like Ohio State, I've seen plenty of people go to the NFL, first round draft picks, you know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, definitely.
Like, you know what I'm saying? People living the dream that, you know what I'm saying? Like, this going back to high school. Like, I seen those people going to college and, you know what I'm saying, living out the dream, the football player dream, going to the next level. And I've seen that here. And I've seen how they move and how they operate and how they do things and how they like handle themselves and take care of business and stuff. Um, so I'm trying to emulate that and just put my head down, work, be the best person I could be for all my teammates. Um, Treat the film room like classroom. Um, Take care of my business outside of football. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have any worries when I go into football. Um, and yeah, just being on top of everything, managing my time, getting rest, and yeah, just taking care of business, honestly.
Definitely. I mean, hopefully it's a similar situation to high school where you come in and you say, okay, I'm a football player. And then it grows into you've got, would you say, 25 offers and six of the top schools at the end a senior year saying, okay, we want you. I mean, that hopefully translates into college where you go into college saying, okay, I'm a great football player. How can I better myself? And then going into senior year with potential NFL teams looking at you. I mean, you didn't know that when you were a freshman in high school saying, I mean, if somebody would have came up to you in freshman year of high school and said, hey, you're going to have 25 colleges looking at you, saying we want Ohio State, Clemson, like all these crazy teams saying we want you to play for us. I mean, that very well could happen
Never would have guessed it.
throughout. Yeah. I mean,
Never would.
that very well could happen in college where you say, okay, the Eagles or fucking whoever is looking. I mean, you just never know. And so the best thing you can do is just put your head down, work, be a great person, work hard and strive and just have that goal in your head. Say, there's nothing that's going to stop me from getting where I want to go. And, you put it out there and it'll come back to you. And I think you've got a great head on your shoulders. And I think that it's going to take you great places. I mean, if not the NFL. I mean, do something. I think you've got to, the right mindset saying, I'm going to do what's going to make me happy, and it's going to take you great places. But definitely, I think, senior year is going to be big for you. And I think that'll really open up a lot of doors for you senior year. I think it'll be.
I really appreciate that. I do. And you know what I'm saying? You're right. Like all you can do is put your head down and work and just, yeah, thank God
So
for the opportunities I have.
in every success, there's some major failures throughout this whole process. What has been, not in a bad way, but what is a failure that's happened to you, or something, that didn't go the right way that ultimately turned around and became something that you've grown off of? What, it's been one of those situations
Throughout college?
throughout anything. I mean, what's been the biggest obstacle in your life? Doesn't have to be a failure necessarily, but what's been the biggest obstacle that you've had to hurdle over in order to better yourself, not knowing, that it was in your way?
Um, it's a good one. It's a really good one. I say, trying to think of like the one that it was just like it happened and I was torn. I'd say my injury. My sophomore year. It was the beginning of the season. It was 2 weeks before fall camp. Oh no. Am I tripping? It was 2 weeks before the season, my sophomore year. 2 weeks before the season, my sophomore year. I grinded the whole summer before that, the whole off season before that. I was in a great position, like an amazing position. I felt good about myself. I was confident. I felt like I was doing everything right. And then I hurt myself during practice. I had like tore my, I don't know, I forgot what it was, my meniscus maybe.
Damn, that's a tough one.
It was something like I blew something out, and um, it hurt me. I tried so hard to get back on the field, but it just didn't get back to where I wanted to get. They said I had two options: either get surgery or try to rehab it, try to make it stronger, everything around it stronger, and try to get back on the field. And I chose obviously the rehab it and try to get back on the field, but it just didn't work out how I planned it to work out. That one tore me up. I was depressed. I was in the real like down, depressed. Like I was beat up. Like I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want anything to do with anything or anybody.
Do you think?
I,
No, go ahead.
no, I was just about to say I learned a lot, but go ahead.
Do you think during that time of downness with your injury, do you think that's when you kind of came up with the backup plan for, okay, well, if this is going to hold me back from the NFL, is I need a backup plan? Because kind of those failures and those lows are often what shapes great people to kind of find something else or find something within themselves that they didn't know was there. And so do you think with that injury saying, okay, this may be a holdback for, being in the NFL or being, pro football player?
Oh, honestly, I am not gonna lie. This injury sprouted something inside of me that like I never knew I had. Like talking to people, being able to talk to people and network is one thing that I picked up after my injury that I will never forget, that I love. You know what I'm saying? That like I feel like I will preach this to anyone any day, because I feel like that's one of the biggest things in life is being able to talk to people and love people and network with people. You know what I'm saying? Because someone could give you opportunities that school can't. Someone could give you opportunities that money can't. You know what I'm saying? Like just being able to talk to people and build relationships with people is definitely one thing that I learned since having my injury. And yes, to answer your question, like that was what sparked me to dip and dive into these new things like real estate. Like that's another thing that I plan on, I'm saying, getting into a little bit. But like the chiropractic and the stuff like that, just like that just wasn't, it wasn't thought before all of that. I say my injury definitely sparked.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those kind of famous sayings where, I mean, it's not really a failure, but failure is the seed to success. It's,
Mhm.
something that didn't necessarily go your way will ultimately open to a door to a thing that you didn't even know was possible. And I mean, I've had a few of those instances in my life where it's just, I'm going to do this and that, and it's going to go this way. And then an obstacle gets thrown in and you're like, oh shit, like, okay, I got to figure something else out. And that figuring something else out is what makes humanity great, what makes success great, when you didn't plan on something, but this little dormant thought or idea or feeling in your body comes out and it ends up being something great. I mean, this podcast is something that came out of that, where I work on cars all the time and I build up, and I get to work for the greatest automotive shop in the world, and I get fired. And I'm like, you kind of get taken away from that, where you're like, okay, this hero, this idea, this thing that I've always wanted to do. And you get there and it's like, I like it, but it's not what I wanted. And so being able to figure out something underneath and surface a feeling or a idea or a whatever to bring it to life is such a crazy thing. And I mean,
Being
failure
able to
ultimately,
adapt,
yeah, I mean, it's
being
human
able to,
nature.
yeah, like you're the faster you're able to adapt, the better you know what I'm saying, better off you'll be.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and it's hard, super hard. Like you said, like, you know what I'm saying, dealing with something like that, like a failure, like something that just a setback, like a major setback that you just didn't expect to happen, and learning from it, that's the best thing you can do. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, definitely. So all this being said, I'm going to ask you three more questions. I know we're going on here for a little bit, but I've got three more pretty decent questions for you. Number one being, what is the most important lesson that you've learned throughout your whole career, your whole life up until this point? What is something that's really stuck with you and said, okay, this is engraved in me forever?
um, believe in yourself no matter what. Don't stop. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's one thing that stuck with me. Because every time like I stopped believing in myself, or I let other people's opinions get in my head, that's where everything starts to go downhill. But the moment I like lock in and tell myself I got it, this is what I'm going to do, this is what's going to happen, and I create a plan, that's where my success comes. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe in myself to take care of business and do these things that, you know what I'm saying, people probably didn't think I could do. But yeah,
That's,
I
I mean,
feel like
that's,
if you believe in yourself, you have a lot greater of a chance of accomplishing whatever it is that, you know what I'm saying, you're trying to accomplish.
and that's all that anybody can ask for, really. It's just, believe in yourself, put your head down, and if I can dream it, I can do it. Walt Disney, I think it was Walt Disney who said that. If you can dream it, you can do it. So if you could give yourself one piece of advice other than, putting your head down, if there's one line of advice that you could give yourself or your earlier self, say your 15, 16-year-old self, what would that be?
Um, Work hard. I mean, it sounds like, you know what I'm saying, like simple, but like if I could like force something into my 15, 16-year-old self, I say like just work. Don't stop working. Because the harder you work, you know what I'm saying, everybody's gonna see you working. Oh, well, Erase that. Forget I said that.
Backspace.
Let me think.
Yeah,
That's
take your
another.
time.
Ask the question again.
If you could give yourself a piece of advice to, at any point in your life, a piece of advice that you wish you had heard and stuck with, what would that piece of advice be?
Um, man, I wish I could tell my old self a lot, a whole lot. Um, Trying to think of trying to go back and think what it was I used to struggle with. I say like patient, be patient, be patient. Definitely be patient. Be
Oh,
patient. I say that because there's a lot of moments in my life where I would be moving really fast and trying to I call it moving really fast when it's like I'm all over the place. I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. I'm worried about this, I'm thinking about that. And I just stress myself up. I build myself up real high until I hit a point where it's like I can't go anymore. And I just drop because I'm just so sad. I'm so depressed. I'm so stressed. You know what I'm saying? I get to those peaks where it's like I let myself get to those peaks where it's like I can't handle anymore. And it's because I wasn't patient. You know what I'm saying? Because like everything happens for a reason.
I couldn't, I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. Everything
Yeah,
happens for a reason. Patience is a
everything.
virtue. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's number one. I completely agree with that.
Yeah. I'd definitely say patience. That's something I go back and tell myself: be patient, and you know what I'm saying. Just let
It'll
things.
all work out.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I want to kind of conclude this with one final question. I want to start asking all my guests this. It's kind of ties with the podcast. What makes you a pretty good person? If you could describe yourself briefly of what makes you just a, a pretty good person.
What makes me a pretty good person? You making me think for real. What makes me a pretty good person? Um, I love people. I say that I love people. I love everything. I love helping. I want to help you. You know what I'm saying? If you need help, I'll be there for you. I'll stop and drop everything I'm doing to help. I think that's what makes me a good person. Like I just love it's something about helping people that really like lights a fire under me. But
That's, I mean, you're doing the same thing for me here. I mean, that's beautiful. I mean, definitely helping each other out's the best way to build connections. Best way to build your network is just being a pretty good person and, put in the effort that, people deserve, and it'll take you places that you never expected to see yourself. And I think that's a really good response.
I appreciate that.
Well, that's all I've got for today's questions. Let everybody know where they can find you: Twitter, Instagram, maybe what have you. Plug all your social media, and then where people can find you, upcoming events that you have going on, just so people know where they can get to you.
Um, my Instagram is Jaden Mac 92, JADNMAC 92. My Twitter is Jaden M 92. Upcoming events: Ohio State versus Notre Dame,
Oh,
September
big game.
3rd. I want to say maybe September 3rd. Big game, great game, night game. You know, we coming out with W. Got to. And yeah, just stay tuned for the season.
Sweet. Well, sounds good. And we I really appreciate you coming on to the podcast today, Jaden. I really enjoyed talking to you and hearing your story, and I'm sure many other people will as well. You're an incredible individual, and no matter what gets thrown your way, I know you'll put your head down, put the work in, and you'll get it done. So I really, really appreciate it, and had a lot of fun today, Jaden.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for having me. I appreciate y'all your kind words, and you know what I'm saying. I appreciate you being a great friend as well. Thank you a lot. But yeah, no, thank you.
All right. Well, that's a wrap on episode 2, folks. Turn in next week for a mystery guest.
All right, bro.
All right, bro.